Hello and welcome to another bonus episode of Hockey Inside Out. This one we're going to focus on the goaltending situation. So it really does look like Samuel Montembeault is the starting goaltender for this team. I don't necessarily know if we can really say that because they do have the rotation, but he's the guy that they're relying on the most. Do you think that he can be a legit number one goaltender in the NHL?
Well, for me, he could be, but the way the team is playing in front of him, they're doing a really good job to make things really difficult for him to perform, each and every night. And I mean, I just look at opportunities that have been given up and shots against and primetime scoring. He's shown that he's been able to handle himself and has some success and consistency. He is able to play the game at the NHL level, and we've seen that. But the way the team is in front of him, they're going to have to give him a lot more help than what they've been giving him as of late. And if not, the results will not be there, and they'll get him like they did with Bernie Wolf. Puck shy because he's sick and tired of facing so many good chances against over the course of the game.
I think he can be a legitimate 1A goalie with a 1B behind him. Even after getting blown out there in Boston, giving up the 8 goals, his save percentage was still .903. You want your goalie to give you a chance to win every night, right? And Samuel Montembeault has done that just about every game he's played, and he gives his team a chance to win. But, the modern day NHL, I think the Boston Bruins, the way they do it is the way of the future. They got Jeremy Swayman, they got Linus Ullmark. They basically split the starts 50-50. Both solid goalies. They're not worn down by the time you get to the playoffs. And I think that's the future for the Canadiens goaltending. I think I can see Samuel Montembeault being the number one guy. I don't know if Caden Primo can be that 1B guy. I don't really have that much faith in that, the way he's played so far. I think the Canadiens are hoping that can be the situation next season, at least until Jacob Fowler is ready for the NHL, the kid they drafted who's lighting it up in the NCAA hockey. And then you have Montembeault and Fowler sort of a couple of years down the road as your 1A, 1B, and maybe Fowler is the guy who can be that real number one guy moving forward, the sort of goalie of the future. But I think in today's NHL with the grind and the way the game's played, I think the days of having like one goalie play 65 games or 60 games like Carey Price used to do, I don't think that's the way to go. I think the smarter way to go is either split it 50-50 or split it like 50 games and 32 games or something like that.
Yeah, I'm in total agreement, Stu. And I think that every time I doubt Montembeault a little bit, he goes on a run that makes me think he's significantly better than I thought. And it's tough to say that after a game where he gave up 8. And I don't think he was that great against Boston either. He had a bit of an off night. He still made some big saves, and the Canadiens did him zero favors. But that's kind of been the story of his career so far. And I saw a lot of people worrying about leaving him in for 8 and him handling it mentally. And I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, do you guys remember 2 seasons ago? The games that Montembeault had to play through with a broken, like something busted in his hand. So I think this kid has, if nothing else, has shown that he is extraordinarily mentally tough to do that in Montreal. And yeah, the stakes are low while he's doing it, but he's played above expectations consistently now for a season and a half, plus with Team Canada last year at the World Championships where he was lights out. And I see a good future for this kid. I think he's a really good young goaltender who continues to prove himself, and I see no reason to doubt him going forward.
Yeah, he showed a lot of his character when he played through that hand injury on his blocker, if I remember right. And I remember saying, like, every time he made a save, it hurt. Imagine, every time a guy winds up and you know it's going to hurt when you're making a save. But the Canes had nobody else, right? They basically asked him, can you suck it up and just play for us? And he did. They rewarded him afterwards with a contract. Now he's been rewarded with a bigger contract. But to me, that says a lot about the character of Samuel Montembeault, that he was willing to do that, and his teammates would have seen that also.
Another good waiver pick.
All right, well, let us.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's true. Well, let us know in the comment section below what your thoughts are on Samuel Montembeault. Could he be a legitimate number one goaltender in the NHL? And make sure to go to hockeyinsideout.com to see our full episode.